energy surrounds us and binds us.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Carbonite Convos. The video you're about to see is the ending of our reaction to the finale of Andor Season 2. This video is also at the end of that reaction, but I did want to make a separate video, kind of just as a standalone breakdown or immediate reaction following the show, because this was a very powerful show for us. We were really excited to talk about it afterwards. The conversation went a little longer than we typically make it on reaction, so wanted to make a separate video. So if you weren't able to watch the whole long form reaction to the Andor Season 2 finale, you could at least check out our thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoy. Andor, which is in Rogue One, which for the most part, I feel most people, most just true core Star Wars fans really enjoy. And I was worried about that coming to an end. And it seems like in a way it is, but the possibility is still there for it to live on and have another story be told in some way.
I just like the fact that Andor lives on through his son. Like that's so important because what that random lady says and what Bix says, like the feeling and like the importance that he has to this, he makes the ultimate play.
Yeah. And
He
dude,
makes the
without
ultimate play.
without him, Luke can't destroy the Death Star. And the Jedi can't rise again. Without Luthen, the same.
And everyone else that they lost on the way.
Everyone. Oh my gosh. I think similar to what I was saying in the middle of the episode, I think a lot of people, myself included, expected the end of this to be very big. And they knew it would lead into Rogue One. But I think I even expected it to lead into Rogue One in a more intense kind of like,
More of a bang.
yeah, I thought it would go with more of a bang too. But I loved the ending. And for a while there, towards the end, when I said, like, man, we only have 17 minutes left, I was starting to get a little worried. I'm like, man, is the ending going to hit? And it did. It did. I loved it.
Man, two of those three episodes, the ending was in a good way long and drawn out with Luthen's passing, and then when they
Yeah.
showed Bix, like they really gave it the time to hit.
Yeah.
It made it feel real.
Dude, it's 3:25 in the morning, but I want to watch Rogue One right now, man.
I know.
Oh my gosh. What a great ending. And I hope other fans can see that the slow end was needed because
Hmm.
the end of this, the big bang of an ending, we've already seen it. It's already happened. And the fact that this leads into it so perfectly is very satisfying.
This character is awesome.
Oh, he's incredible, man.
What's crazy is that like it, not that it came from nothing, but like when Rogue One came out, was the main character,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like
No
Jin
doubt.
was the main focus. And so when they announced that this was going to be a thing, I was like, cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, and bro, Cassian,
Dude,
the weight he carried.
I remember they had when Empire Magazine came out with their big stories because I think it was right around the time when either Mando season 2 had just come out or Mando season 3 was about to come out. So they did these big pieces on Andor, Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. And I remember this one picture where you have Obi-Wan, Mando, Ahsoka, and Cassian in one picture. And at the time, he doesn't measure up. Like, yes, he was great in Rogue One, but it didn't seem to measure up. It was almost like a young rookie with three Hall of Fame vets at that point. You have Ahsoka, you have Mando, and you have Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it's easy to look at those three shows and think, okay, out of these four, Andor, it's cool. It'll probably be a fun little story, but it's not going to be my favorite.
Right.
Having seen Mando season 3, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka season 1, I can truthfully say Andor is my favorite series.
Favorite series. Like, yes, in like the quality and the
Yeah.
storytelling.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I love, and I'm not discounting anything about The Mandalorian because that story and Ahsoka, that's not done. But, dude, Andor, what it leads to, like this show is number one
It
on the
is Star
series
Wars
list.
at its core in its
100%.
truest form. Mando and Ahsoka, yes, it's cool. And that's like deeper into like a little bit more lore, right?
Yeah.
With like the history of the Mandalorians and then like everything with the Veil of the Force and all that jazz, right? But this is the rebellion. Like this is at the heart of it, what Star Wars originally was about.
Yeah. Dude, you're 100% right. And what I like about this show is that they didn't have to have Jedi. They didn't have to have lightsabers and they didn't have to have the Force in a crazy way. But you can tell that the Force is still there. The Force is still guiding these people. And I love how Bale at the end finally said, "May the Force be with you." Because I feel like the show needed that. It did need that. It would have been fine without that line, but having it just it made it even more Star Wars than it already was.
I think that added a lot to Bale as a character too,
Yeah, because he
because he bought in.
yeah, and he
Not
dude,
that he wasn't already,
he
but
worked
like,
closely with the Jedi for decades.
mhm.
So he knows that the fall of the Republic and the Jedi, that was not they weren't the bad guys, and he knows that. Oh man. But them having a son,
Will we ever see him again? With I don't know.
I don't know.
Cassian lives on.
He does. He does. And B2. I'm so happy he's safe.
Me too.
I'm so happy he's all right.
Hell
I
yeah.
wonder if the creator, because I saw a lot of people talking about B2 online. I wonder if the people working behind the scenes on this show, I wonder if they saw all this stuff. Like, where's B2? What's up with all this? And they're like, okay, just wait, just wait. We're not going to fuse his core with K2, but there's something even, arguably even better coming.
Yeah.
Wow. Now he was
Live out his
Marva's,
days.
then he's Cassian's, and now it's going to be Cassian's kid.
And Bix lived. I
Vix.
thought she was gonna be long gone.
We said it many times throughout the season that we thought that she was going to pass. And I think we realized last week that she wasn't. So now, it just makes you wonder all these people, where were they? Where are they now? Clea, Vel, they survived. And we know Mon Mothma makes it out, but they survived.
I mean, we don't know what happens to him throughout the original trilogy, but
We know Mon Mothma lives, but other than
mhm.
that, we don't know. You know what would be interesting? What would be super interesting would be, Rogue One and Andor and Rogue One led into stealing the Death Star plans for the original Star Wars. And a lot of people are getting that confused with Mon Mothma's line in Return of the Jedi when she said, "Many Bothans died to give us this information." When she says that, she's talking about the second Death Star in Return of the Jedi. So, if we want a similar story to Rogue One, they could do something in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi that shows stealing the plans for the second Death Star. It would have to not like mirror Andor in Rogue One. It would have to be something very different. But I feel like that's another similar show that they could do.
They ultimately could start at Phantom Menace and hit play and splice everything through Clone Wars, through the prequels, through Andor, through everything, and line it up so that it literally does not end. Like
Yeah.
it's continuous.
Well, the thing is, it's not going to end. Star Wars, knock on wood, Star Wars isn't going anywhere.
It has unlimited
Yeah,
potential.
because there's so many stories to tell. We already have new movies, and they said they're focusing on quantity or on quality over quantity for both Marvel and Star Wars. But I really think that, with the possibility of Kathleen Kennedy leaving, I think she announced she's leaving. I haven't looked into how official that is, but I'm pretty sure that she's going to be done with Star Wars with Lucasfilm soon. With Dave Filoni and I would hope Jon Favreau seeming to take more of a step into it, I'm so I don't know. I've never been more convinced that we're in a good spot. The Mando movie has to hit, but man, just focusing on this delivered in every way possible. Honestly, I'm completely satisfied, and that's great to say about Star Wars.
Very.
Yeah, and there will be people that disagree, but this was incredible, and
I
I'm
want to watch
glad.
it again.
I know. I'm glad we have. If you guys have been following the channel, Alec and I took a really long break for about a year when both of us got engaged, both of us got dogs. And the first series we reacted to again was Daredevil Born Again, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I was glad we were able to watch that together because we weren't even watching the shows together because obviously you guys know we live in different places, but we weren't even watching it together. But I'm so much more happy that we were able to watch this together because
Oh, dude, it makes it more enjoyable for sure.
yeah, we did reactions to Andor season 1 as a whole, and now Andor season 2 is complete. And who knows what we could get in the future. But everybody, I truthfully hope that you enjoyed Andor season 1 and season 2 as much as we did here on Carbonite Convos. I was looking into what's next, and Star Wars Visions is next, which I don't know if we're going to do a reaction to. Maybe, maybe not. We are doing a reaction to Tales of the Underworld very soon. We're behind on that, so expect that very soon. But after that, it's going to be a little more Marvel focused, so we're going to try to come up with more Star Wars stuff in between now and the next project. But we really appreciate you tuning in. And again, I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. And I hope that you stick around the channel and keep watching stuff with us because we really enjoy you being here. But like always, until the next time you're on Carbonite Convos, may the Force be with you.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.